This is the 2014-2015 Ride Machete. This is the 6th year that Ride have made this board, and it's their all-round freestyle stick. So the reason I brought it out today was a lot of boards say that they're all-round, and I just wanted to make sure, just put it to the test really. So we had a lot of powder today. That's the first thing I took it into, and I found that yeah, it really held up well. As you can see, I've got a very wide stance, and I've also got you know, true twin, like nose and tail are exactly the same length, which isn't ideal for powder, but I found that it actually floats pretty well. It's got a rocker profile, and I really didn't have to put too much effort in to keep the nose up in the deep stuff. Even when it wasn't that steep, it still held up really nicely. Afterwards, I took it to the piste, which is basically covered in chopped up powder today, so you had a little bit of everything. You had some areas that had been pretty badly scraped and some areas that were still quite covered in powder, and I found it was very, very good at bashing through the different undulating terrain. You know, I didn't really feel it being too wobbly or you know, that it was going to kick me off at any time. It really did a good job of holding exactly the line that I wanted it to, which was again very impressive for this stick. I liked it a lot, and when you really got it up to speed on some slightly more firm snow, it held well. You know, rocker boards are usually known for not, you know, holding quite as well at high speeds, but it wasn't too jittery or anything. Still, you know, maybe not quite as good as a camber board at the high speeds, but that's only to be expected. It's got strengths in other ways though, for sure. It's definitely very maneuverable. I found that, like, if I wanted to make a short turn just very, very quickly, it could do that really, really well. It was very, very responsive, and no problem just sending it where I wanted it to go. So on the steep stuff, if I wanted to do a bunch of short turns in a row, it was very, very easy to get it to where I wanted to go. I did find though that sometimes the initiation of the turn is quite tricky. Again, it's just mainly to do because it's a rocker board. When it comes up a little bit at the edge there, off the snow, there's a little bit more work you have to put in to make sure you get a good initiation to the turn. So if you're at all worried about that, maybe a camber board would suit you better. But I found you know, you get used to it after a while, but that's certainly one of the things that maybe this board doesn't do quite as well as I would have liked. It certainly was good for rails though. We got it through the park at the end of the day, and it's got just enough pop. Again, rocker boards not known for having a lot of pop. This one's got enough definitely to do what you need to do, but yeah, I found it certainly could go into rails really well. And if you're a rail guy that also likes to go, you know, all over the mountain, off piste, ride a bit of switch, that kind of thing, it certainly does the job everywhere. If I had to sum it up, I'd basically say it's not amazing at anything in particular, but it is very good at everything. And if you're looking for something that can do it all, you couldn't go wrong with this.